Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel eddieinreadingland. My name is Eddie and today I'm bringing you a review of the book Tarot Coupling by Gina G. Thies. It's a good thing that I pronounced that name right because I thought it was I thought it was pronounced something like Thies or Tees. But I looked it up and it's Thies. I thought also it was Greek and it could be Greek, but not sure anymore. But as in any case, see, I'm already rambling, guys. So, Tarot Coupling, guys, by Gina Thies. An amazing book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. So you guys know that I really, really like this book. When I give it a 4, to me is a very well written book. Actually very surprised that I like this book because after reading the very romantic Tarot at a Crossroads that I definitely did not like, this was an amazing book to read about tarot and about relationships, especially romantic relationships, because that is the number one question or the number one client that we seem to get as tarot readers is people who are asking for their romantic relationships. And first of all, I just want to say that I wish I've had this book when I was 14 years old and I started reading for other people, because it would have made my life and my readings a whole lot easier, especially how this book is set up, which we'll look at it in a moment. But the first thing that I wanted to, I already said so many things about this book, but one of the things that I wanted to mention about this book out the bat is that the book starts out very academic and very well researched. I was actually pretty impressed with how erudite the whole first maybe 9 to 10 chapters were. It was an amazing book. I did not expect that. Gina Thies did an amazing job researching and educating herself and providing information that is precise, accurate, and to the point. To the point. She did not sugarcoat anything, and I really, really enjoyed that. She was just providing fact after fact, and each piece of her research that's exactly what was delivered. But I will have to say that after that, and after maybe half of the book where she starts going into the major arcana, and even more so when she starts going over the pips and the court cards, the book starts to get a little bit meta and a bit hip, and it just changed tone. And both tones of the book did not go with each other. Honestly, I didn't really dislike the second tone of the book. It was fine, but I think that it would have been better if she would have chosen one of the two tones of the book to keep going, because starting with something so academic and going into something so, my parents trying to speak the modern vernacular that the kids are using these days, it was a little daunting. I was like, oh, the tone of this book just changed on me, and it's not a bad tone. It's just that I would prefer the first one. But other than that, this book is written in vernacular, guys, so anybody can pick up this book and read it. And I think that's actually going to be the case with every tarot. No, you know what? No, that's not true. That is not true. Not all tarot books are written in vernacular. Anybody has tried to read The Book of Thoth by Aleister Crowley? Yes. That is a whole experience all on its own, and you know what? It's not about that book. It's about tarot coupling, which I liked. Okay, but starting with what she begins with the book, she goes into the backstory of her and encountering tarot, and she goes a little also about the history of tarot, just a tiny bit, and we learn a little about her relationship with tarot and how she came to be as a tarot reader. One of the first things that she also says on this book is that she is not a couples therapist, but she does have years of experience reading tarot and reading tarot for other people, especially with romantic relationships. I think that we all have a lot of experience reading tarot about romantic relationships. But she does acknowledges that she is not a couples therapist, and that that every piece of advice or every piece of information that she provides in this book has again been well researched and is information that she has um, acquired from experience, and she's just providing that wisdom to us. And I really appreciate that because um, I think this book would have been a little bit different if she indeed was a couples therapist. So, but who knows? I'm not saying that it would be in a worse book. I think that it would have been a denser book, and this book is not dense, guys. I know that it seems it's a little long, but it's just the formatting of the book, and the book has some graphs and other images. So, but it's mostly written word. I feel like she did a really amazing job at editing herself, and I think that she had a good editor, semi-good editor. I'll talk about that later as well. But yes, so she also goes over, um, what a romantic relationship is, and she goes over how to manage romantic relationships when a client is coming for you on a question for it. She also goes over other topics involving relationships like intimacy and infidelity, and how to have these conversations with people. And I thought that was pretty amazing because I had to learn how to have those conversations without having the assistance of this book. So just because of that, this book is a jewel, and I think that every tarot reader should read it just because of that. Um, the other thing that I really liked about this is that she also goes over on how to identify your uh, client being the perpetrator, or maybe perpetrator is not the best word. Um, if your client is the negative part of that relationship, and she goes over also how to deal with that and how to deliver bad news and how to create a conversation when instead of you just providing meanings, or instead of you just talking about what the card means, um, she does acknowledge that having a conversation during a reading is far more desired than just one person talking. It's not a conversation if it's just one person is talking. And I relate a lot to that. That's how I read for others. I have a conversation with them. My reading style is very conversationalist. I ask questions. I ask my clients if they are indeed resonating with what I'm saying, and there's feedback. And I think that is one of the great ways to read tarot for others, in my opinion, of course. But yeah, so she does go into that as well. She does go, and I'm gonna use the camera down here to show you guys. She does go over the what her difference, or how she makes it, how she differentiates between divination and fortune telling. She even goes into providing us with different classifications of divination, which I thought was amazing. There's 5 here, and she defines them very well. I I I was very happy when I read this because I do uh, differentiate divination from fortune telling. Mostly, it's just a brain trigger sort of thing. mostly, and she also goes into that. Mostly, fortune telling to me is related more to future casting than it is to self development and growth. But again, these ideologies and these different opinions, we wouldn't know unless I read about them, and she makes a point to differentiate between the two, which I really appreciate. The other thing is that okay, here it is. Before that, let me see if I'm skipping something before I go into the other. No, I guess that's it. She does go over, now that I remember, she does go over certain psychological themes and topics on the book, because in somewhere between all of these chapters, you can definitely see that, or she acknowledges that there are, different types of relationships, and you have familiar relationships, you have relationship with your friend, and she touches on those. But I think just to make the point that this is for romantic relationships, that's what I was going to say. This is mainly for romantic relationships, guys. But yes, so moving on, after all of that and more that you get at the beginning, she immediately takes you to establishing how this book is structured on the cards. And she does this for the majors and the pips. I will show you guys in a second. But she establishes this by creating this very amazing spread. And it is a very long spread. I usually don't use 12 cards for a spread, not even when I'm reading for clients, not for a relationship reading. I wouldn't typically do that. But thankfully, my husband is a great sport, and I love him so much. And we did the spread together. We used the New Voice Tarot by Rosario Salerno. And we thought that the spread was actually pretty good. The spread does go into different things from a relationship. Like, for example, cards each partner chooses either to be number 1 or number 2. And, the first card that we choose is the positive qualities. The second card that we choose are wounds or fears. And it goes on like that. For the third card, it's perception of partner. The fourth card is how the partner relates to you. And the fifth card is the challenges and maybe some complaints that you would have about your partner or the relationship, for example. And the last card is about expectations. So the only thing that I would say is that it did take us a while to go over the spread, because we were just talking about the cards and we were talking back and forth, and we were having a good time. We were I'm sure that my husband will put something here on the video, either agreeing or disagreeing with me, because I can't speak to him. But I was having a really good time. Tarot is both fun and serious for me, and that is exactly what this was. I would say that the spread was accurate. When we were reading for each other, we were able to relate the meaning of the cards that we got to the meaning of the card on the spread. So awesome. You will see all of these in the cards when I show them to you, and which I am going to do right now. But before I show the Fool, she does gives us as well, and I thought that this was just so good and so important for a book like this. She does gives us a possible meaning for what the card would mean when the relationship is new, when the relationship is established, when the relationship needs further awareness of the situation, and also when the relationship is deteriorating. When there are very much quantifiable issues on the relationship, and that, I think, is the second thing that I would deem this book an excellent tool in your arsenal for reading tarot, because it had never occurred to me that the same card would mean different things for what the stage of the relationship that they're in. I mean, if it's a new relationship, what the card could mean when the relationship is established, and what that could mean, and when the relationship is deteriorating, and what that card could mean. It's it again, it's something that didn't occur to me. I'm probably doing it just subconsciously, especially when having a little information about the client and seeing what they're asking about. But it's just incredibly helpful. And she does this for every single one of the cards. And I'll show you what I mean right now. So here's the first. Here's the Fool. She does gives us the Golden Dawn, or the esoteric title for the card, and she does gives us the Hebrew letter in the case of the majors. And what's the meaning of the Hebrew letter? She does give the Kabbalistic attribution for the cards for the majors as well. What element they are, and what planet they reign. The majors have a quote from either mostly William Shakespeare. She quotes a lot of Shakespeare, which I don't like Shakespeare, but I thought that the quotes were very on point with the energy of the card related to romantic relationships. But she then goes into a general commentary on the Fool, and not necessarily she goes into what it means in a relationship, but what the Fool, or the card, in this case the Fool, what does it generally mean? What is the basic and more advanced meaning for the Fool? She does go over some symbology, which I really appreciated, because I like other authors' take on symbology in tarot, so that's amazing to me. But then, after she's done providing an explanation or a general commentary on the major, and also the other cards as well, but she goes into the structure of the book. Here's the tarot coupling keywords. So here we have, sorry guys, let me see if I can, there we go. Positive qualities, and then she gives the positive qualities of the Fool. And then impairments and fears, and here we have the fears that the Fool would have in a relationship. Then we go to perception of partner, dyadic interaction. For those of us who don't know what dyadic means, it just means the relationship that you have with another person and how the relationship interacts with each other. That is just what dyadic means. So you having a relationship with somebody else. So and then we go into challenges, complaints of partner, and desires. This is when the book started to change tone for me, because sometimes these keywords are very serious, but sometimes they're just very very hip and very meta. And then she proceeds to give us a general interpretation of the Fool, and this is where she goes into what the interpretation on the Fool would be for a romantic relationship, and then we go into what the Fool may mean on a new relationship, or a client wanting to have a new relationship. And then we go into, oh goodness, I can't even pass the page, bad bookworm. So here we have the commentary on established relationships. She calls it expanded awareness, but basically when a couple needs something extra on their issue, this is what we would use. And then deterioration, well, I don't have to explain that, but here is what the Fool may mean when that's going on. And this is when it gets more like gimmicky for me. She has some romantic suggestions after each of the majors, and I don't know. I this is one of the things of the book that I did not like. But I'm pretty sure that a lot of you will like it because it's very fun, and it does it may make some other people try any of these things, and I mean, why not? The other thing is, guys, that well, I've said it before on previous videos, but I'm aromantic. I do not experience romance, not even with my poor husband, whom I love so much. But I unfortunately can't um, generate feelings of romance. Gods, I can't generate feelings of jealousy or possessiveness either. It's yes, I'm pretty sure that or well, again, I can't speak for him, but I wish I would be able to be a bit more romantic with my husband, but it just doesn't even occur to me, guys. It doesn't even occur to me. But yes, as in any case, not to say that I do not love my husband, because I do love him very much, very very much. But yes, so she, Gina, does go into every single card, and it happens to with all of the majors. And also, I want to show you how the pips look, because each pip gets a page, but it's the same thing. We have the esoteric title. Thankfully, we have the Decan. So here we have the Two of Cups. I cannot believe that I just randomly chose the Two of Cups for tarot coupling. Thank you, universe, for providing me with more synchronicity in my life. I love this. And then we have the Kabbalistic attribution, which is the position of the card in the Tree of Life. And this is Hokmah in, well, I think it's Bina, not Bria, but in any case. And then again, we have a general interpretation. We have new relationship, established relationship, expanded awareness for the relationship, and deteriorating relationships. This is for every single one of the minors as well, including the court cards, which, by the way, she finishes with the court cards. And I'm not very sure why. The other thing is that she does provide a title. Let me show you. Here's the Knight of Wands, and she calls the Knight the Sequester. I think she calls the Queen of Wands the gods. Well, I guess I can just see. Conformist. Usually I equate the Queen of, not usually, I equate the Queen of Wands with my mom, and my mom is definitely not a conformist. I'm not saying that I have to agree with everything that I read in a book, and I don't. Like, for example, with this keyword for the Queen of Wands, I don't agree with. But it's definitely fascinating when you read about it and why she chose that specific title for the Queen of Wands. She makes a very good case. And again, not that I agree with her, because I don't. But it doesn't mean that you won't. And this is the beauty with tarot books and people writing their own tarot books. It's a different perspective. It's a fresh perspective for somebody who is outside and reading on another person's knowledge. This is why I keep reading books about tarot, even after so many years of practicing tarot and reading for others, guys, because it is just refreshing. I'm gonna put the book back over here, because it is just not only refreshing in the more abstract term that of something new and something exciting, but it also refreshes your own memory and your conscious perception of the meaning of that card. And that's the reason why I'm going to continue to read books on tarot, because I will forever be a student. I've said it before, and I will say it again. I love being a desk magician. That is awesome to me. I am a bookworm at heart, and I will always be a bookworm at heart. That is just what I'm going to be. I enjoy reading too much, and I enjoyed reading the heck out of this book. It didn't take me long to read this book, guys, even though... How long is this book? Oh, yeah, no, it's not that long. It's like 260 pages, guys. It won't take you long to read this book. Even if you're a slow reader, you're going to be fine. The book is highly entertaining. It made me laugh at some points as well, so she did a really good job. the criticism on the tone, it's just my own personal taste. I don't like when authors change their tone to their book, especially in the middle of the book, like Gina did. But it doesn't mean that I didn't like this book, because I did. This is a great tool that is going to go in my collection of tarot books. I wish, again, that I would have had this book when I started reading for others, because it would have made my readings and my life a lot easier, guys. But I hope you enjoyed this review, guys. Please give it a go. I'm gonna leave the link on the description below, so that you guys can acquire the book. Let me know in the comments below if you are so inclined to buy this book, and well, let me know if you like the review or not. If you read it, let me know which one was your favorite part, because yeah, definitely my favorite part was the whole beginning of the book, when she was more academic. But thank you so much, guys, for being here, and thank you for joining me in this review. I really appreciate it. Bye, YouTube.